morning. My name is Leslie Williams and I am in San Diego, California right now. I'm a targeted individual of what is known as organized gang stalking. And as a result of being a target of what is known as organized gang stalking, I want to inform fellow American citizens, fellow San Diegoans, and actually even also citizens in other countries, because these expeditions are going on in other countries. I make these videos to inform, to expose the truth concerning not only organized stalking, which is also called gang stalking, but also to inform them about the truth concerning the technological resources that are in the direct hands of the same individuals who are managing these expeditions covertly. Okay? And 99% of the time it's usually by somebody that the target does not know, or has never had any type of relationship with. Now, one of the technological resources, actually two of them, of organized gang stalking, are concerning the technologies that you can find at the bottom of Freedom from Covert Harassment and Surveillance. There's 3 PDF links, one of them being, the first one being remote neural monitoring, and the second one being remote behavioral influencing technology. Remote behavioral influencing technology is nothing but the microwave hearing effect. So let's take a look at what that is. As a result of the microwave hearing effect, what they can do is transmit audio statements into a person's audio cortex, and that capability can be directly understood by researching the remote neural monitoring file, which is the first PDF link, as a result of a target's neural activity being remotely neurally monitored. Okay, and if you look at that first PDF link, you'll clearly be able to see that what I am telling you is the truth, undisputable truth. I mean, it's undisputable proof concerning the undisputable truth. So anyways, the microwave hearing effect, what they can do is that the remote neural monitoring and the microwave hearing effect is all incorporated within one computer run by the perpetrators. And what they do is they literally take a voice print of a target's voice, okay? And as a result, like I'm speaking to you right now with using language, as a result of my speaking, my voice print can be recorded by the perpetrators. Hang on a second. Sorry about that. Anyways, as a result of my voice print being captured by the perpetrators on high definition audio recorders, and then incorporated within the technology where the remote neural monitoring and the microwave hearing effect is in. Okay, and so what they do is that they take the voice algorithm print of a target, whether it be verbal speech or subvocal speech, and as a result, they incorporate the target's voice print, their voice algorithm print within the sorry about the background noise, within the technology that holds the remote neural monitoring and the microwave hearing effect. This same technology has a computer software program that is run by artificial intelligence. As a result, the computer got a software program in it that is able to take words, like a dictionary, which also includes slang terms, and compose words into sentences. So if a target thinks to himself, I am going to go to the bank to take out a certain amount of money, and then from there I'm going to go to Burger King, okay? That's different words composing sentences for psychological direction. It's called thoughts, okay? Evoke potentials, your thoughts, okay? Well, as a result of the computer being able to compose words into sentences, and then once these sentences are composed, what they'll do is transmit through the remote neural monitoring and the microwave hearing effect sentences that are composed deliberately by them that are attached to the target's subvocal speech and voice print that's in the computer. In other words, you know how I'm talking to you right now? They got a computer that will capture my voice print, put it in the computer, and then use the dictionary that's in the computer to compose sentences, so what comes out of the computer in reference to the sentences that are composed by the software, okay, will come out in verbal form using my voice, okay? Once these sentences are composed with themes in reference to what's composed for psychological direction, okay, and then what they'll do is compose sentences for psychological direction using a target's voice print attached to it and transmit it into the target's audio cortex under their perceptual radar. And if you don't believe what I'm saying, listen to this.
Interesting. I have to say that we're also talking about, literally, you're talking about using voice technology that goes directly to the mind of the person, right?
Yeah, it's called microwave hearing. It was based on the early studies by Dr. Alan Frey. They called it the Frey effect, F-R-E-Y, or Frey, depending on what part of the country you're from. He noticed that certain individuals around radar installations could tell when the radar came off and on. They would hear it in their head. A popping and crackling kind of sound. So he started doing research on that and found out that it's a radio frequency in the microwave bandwidth that can actually heat up the ferroelastic tissue in the middle ear and cause a sound wave that propagates. And eventually you start hearing the sound. And what the Army and what the intelligence communities have done is capitalize on that to be able to carry spoken word and communications on that same microwave carrier wave.
Okay, and what year this woman that you were engaged to, why do you think they targeted her in particular? Any idea?
It was strictly sexual assault based. She was a mortgage broker. She happened to work in an office for Wells Fargo doing mortgaging, you know. And one of the PIs actually worked there as well. And one of the PIs and another physician in San Antonio had become attracted to her. And what better way to sexually assault someone than basically control them into drinking or eating wherever you put the rohypnol? Because that's the other scary thing, is technology. If you're bombarded with it and they're using a voice other than your own, and they're putting voices in your head, well, that's audible harassment. You know what you're hearing. If they put it in your mind in a ear tone of voice, like the literal voice you hear in your head as you read, then a lot of people, a great subset of people, will respond to that as their own thought.
And this is the... So finish listening to this.
Well, then that becomes mind control. And that's what we're seeing in a lot of these victims, my ex-fiance included, is that you can be controlled. Your behavior can be controlled. You can be brought to rage, brought to sadness, made to think you're thirsty, made to think you're hungry, made to drink alcohol when ordinarily you don't drink, all based on basic controlling your thoughts. Almost, I hesitate to call it subliminal messaging, because it's really more of an alteration of EEG than you acting on a suggestion. It's actually placing a thought in your head.
Fellow American citizens, fellow Californians, my name is Leslie Williams. I make these videos to inform, to expose the truth. I want you to understand something. When you research those 3 PDF links at the bottom of Freedom from Covert Harassment and Surveillance, look at the capabilities of what's described in the remote neural monitoring file, okay, concerning the video cortex and the audio cortex, okay? Then research meticulously what's in the second PDF link. It talks about the microwave hearing effect, which John Hall just talked about. Now, if they can take the microwave hearing effect, take your voice print, incorporate it within the technology that the microwave hearing effect is incorporated within, and then attach streamlined psychological direction sentences into a person's audio cortex by voice morphing the target's voice, okay, and attaching that voice morphing to the psychological direction, okay? In other words, do you know how, like, when you go to a grocery store and you go to the U-Scan, which is where you go to those machines where you are the one who scans your own groceries, and then the little computer talks to you about what to do next or what not to do? That's a voice print, okay? So when you think about, or if you call up a government office and you're given a recording, okay, where you're given a menu with a bunch of options by a verbal recording, that's a voice print of a person's voice. And that's what I'm talking about, where those menus are giving you direction about what button to push next pertaining to the feature that you want, okay? And that's what I mean. These voice prints are used to incorporate the voice to the streamlined sentences that are composed by the computer, okay? Like, say I'm saying right now, I am going to go to the bank. That is a thought that will motivate action, motor cortex associated actions, which are your physical movements, the motor cortex associated behaviors. That is a verbal statement, me making to myself, that will in turn cause psychological direction and motor cortex associated behavior direction for me to actually get up and go to the bank. And so that's what they do, is they take a copy of a woman or a young man's voice and incorporate it within a computer that composes the sentences for the psychological direction, and then they just transmit those composed sentences into the target's audio cortex using their voice print, and the target has no idea that a third party is transmitting this psychological direction using their voice print into their audio cortex, because it's transmitted under the perceptual radar. And the transmission is kept on a timed, constant rate. Okay? Yes, including cooperating and corroborating additional psychological direction statements to make sure that the thought is not only activated, but kept thought about. And this is where they do this in order to influence a target to go from A to B to C to D, or to possibly even influence them about how to act if the target's hired a lawyer, or how they might even influence the lawyer using this same technology by taking a voice print of their voice. And because the target might, like, say if I am a victim of this crime, and I do have undisputable evidence. Say if I go to a lawyer's office and ask him to be my lawyer so I can sue the police officers involved in this crime, could they use this same technology on a lawyer, take his voice print, and then transmit psychological direction in that lawyer's head to get him to not want to take my case? And if you don't believe me, listen to this.
With this, people say, well, if they can get into your head and make you hear voices and see you inside your home with x-ray imaging and forward-looking infrared imaging, then they would be doing it to heads of state and congressmen and CEOs, and in some instances they probably are, but...
So if they can do this to heads of state, congressmen, people that own their own corporations, to influence their behavior to affect their decision making, do you honestly think that they can't do this to a lawyer or a civil rights group? Yeah. This is where the targets are targeted with these crimes. They're isolated in them as a result of all their communications being monitored, hacked, faked, rerouted. And then when a target does try to break free and literally goes out of their way on a daily basis to find a lawyer that might be able to help them that's not uncorrupted, the lawyer can be influenced. The lawyer's receptionist can be influenced. An associate of the lawyer can be influenced. A judge can be influenced to throw out evidence. This is what I'm trying to tell fellow American citizens, is that this technology is being used to lead people, innocent people, to make decisions that will either take them to A to B to C to D where crimes can happen to them, or it can cause such confusion to where they can't even think straight or speak straight. And if you don't believe me, go to YouTube and type in Jesse Ventura, conspiracy theory, the brain invaders. Look at how that news reporter can't even talk straight. Language area of the brain. I make these videos to inform, to expose the truth, so fellow Californians, fellow San Diegoans, and fellow Americans can know the truth. Innocent people are being taken out of their homes to be exploited in every way that you can literally imagine. And that whenever we try to break free from it happening to us, okay, or continuing to happen to us, these are the technological resources that are used against us. Thank you.